Hey guys, welcome back. I'm LJ if you're new here. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to create this eyeshadow look. So this eyeshadow look I'm obsessed with because one, it's super easy. It's really beginner friendly. If you're somebody who's just getting into learning how to apply eyeshadow, I would say this one is for you, especially if you're not used to applying eyeshadow like as much. It can get you to practice. And on top of that, we're only using 2 eyeshadow shades. Yes, only 2. That's it. And they're all matte, so it's gonna be super easy and super quick. So there's only 4 brushes that I'm gonna be using today, and then the eyeshadow palette that I'm gonna be using is this right here. This is by Ccolor Cosmetics. This is the Lust in Paradise eyeshadow palette. This is my absolute favorite beginner friendly eyeshadow palette because it's only $9 and it has a lot of eyeshadow shades that you can use every day. They're very neutral. I'm gonna link it in the description box down below. I got it from Amazon for almost $10. It was like $9.99 or $10. First things first, you want to apply your eyeshadow base, and I'm using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I always prime my eyelids before going in with the eyeshadow, so I'm just picking up a little bit of that using a beauty blender and just blending that on my eyelid area. So regardless of what type of eyeshadow look you're going for, make sure you're priming your eyelids because that gets the pigment of the eyeshadow to show on your skin. First shade I'm gonna go in with is this shade right here. So this is a warm tone brown shade. So I'm gonna use this shade and I'm gonna place it starting on the outer portion of my eye. The reason why I like starting here is because this is where the main pigment of the eyeshadow should be most of the time, especially because we're only using 2 eyeshadow shades. You want the main pigment to be on the outer corner, and then as you're bringing it towards the inner corner, it's fading and blending out. So once you pack that on there, you want to bring it towards the inner corner. And because this shade is not as pigmented, shouldn't worry about it spreading too much or being like too pigmented, but you definitely want to pick up a small amount and just build up the coverage. So as you're bringing it in towards the inner corner, it's fading off, so the pigment is not as much. So what I'm doing is, without picking up any pigment, I'm just gonna fade it outwards towards my hairline, just so that it's nice and blended. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this eye. So like I did with the other eye, packing it on the outer part of my eye. You wanna always start with packing the eyeshadow so that when you're blending it out, it's giving a nice gradient effect. It's not like too strong, and you actually get enough space to actually blend it out. So as I'm packing the eyeshadow, I'm building the pigment so that it can match the pigment on this eye. And then once you've packed that eyeshadow, you want to go in and start blending it out. So the key is to remember, when you're starting out with your first shade, you want to start off with a color that is not too dark, not too pigmented, because once you do that, it will be hard to blend and it will just stay there and it won't look like it's transitioning. So you definitely want to start with a warm tone brown, or you want to start with a brown that's closer to your skin tone. You don't want to go in with a dark brown or a black shade as your first shade when you're doing your eyeshadow. So I'm just going back in and blending it out, making sure it's nicely faded. You want to take your time while blending it out because you want it to kind of fade off so it's not just sitting there. All right, so once you apply that shade, I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M507 brush. So this one is more tapered, it's more precise. And I'm gonna pick up that same eyeshadow shade and I'm gonna focus it right where the outer portion of my crease is. This is going to deepen up that color to make it look more pigmented, and so that it has a gradient effect from a dark shade to a lighter blended shade. So I'm focusing this right where my crease area is. I'm gonna do the same thing for this eye. Focus only on my crease area. So I'm going back in with that M506 brush and I'm just blending this out to fade it off a little bit so it's not too pigmented. And I'm not adding any product on the brush because it already has a little bit of that pigment that I put. All right, so once that is done, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. And I'm using the Morphe M456 brush, which is that fluffy brush that I said I was gonna use for the eyelids. I like using this kind of brush for a matte eyeshadow shade because it just applies it so much better. And fluffy brushes pick up powder way better than like shimmers or metallics. So anytime you're using a matte eyeshadow shade on your eyelids, you definitely want to go in with a fluffy brush versus a flat brush. So picking up a little bit of that pigment, I focus this mainly on the inner portion of my eye and I just bring it up kind of like where my crease is. So starting from here and bring it all the way up till right there. And this is going to add that spark onto your eyeshadow shade. I feel like this one is much easier to apply versus applying it on your eyelid because sometimes the eyelid shade can be very complicated. So I think this is easier. So the trick is to pick up a little bit, like literally a very small amount, dust off the excess so that you see that powder just flowing away from the brush. And you want to take that and just blend it. Blend it like you're blending your crease shade, but you don't want to bring it all the way here. You want to stop like right in the middle where your crease is. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this eye, starting from the inner corner, bringing it up towards my crease area and tying it in with that first shade we applied. And so the trick with this shade is to just build it up to your liking. Like you can add more and more until you see like, okay, I like the pigmentation of it. I definitely see it on my eyes. It looks nice. And then you can stop from there. So for me, this is good. I think the pigmentation looks really nice. I'm satisfied. So I'm just going to stop it right there. But you can add more if you want the pigment to show more. So next, I'm going to go in with the M508 brush. So this one is a flat brush, but it's shorter because it's perfect for the under eye. So I'm gonna pick up that first shade that we used on the crease area and I'm gonna buff that right under my eye. And so you definitely want to tie this shade with that first shade we placed on the crease area. Just kind of like bring it around this area just to tie those shades together so that they look like they're connected. I'm going to do the same thing for this eye. And with this under eye, you want to be careful not to pick up too much of that pigment because it can go inside your eye. Alright, so next I'm applying mascara and I'm using the ILIA Beauty mascara. So you can put eyeliner if you want to, but I'm not putting any eyeliner because my eyes are very small, so I don't like to flood up my eyelid area with eyeliner because it takes away from the space on my eyes. And I'm also going to place this mascara on my under eye, but I'm placing a very small amount. Alright, then I'm going to apply eyelashes. So I'm going to use one of my favorite eyelashes. This is the Ace Beaute eyelashes in the shade Maya. Now, eyelashes are totally optional. You can just leave your eye makeup look like this, or you can put on like your favorite eyelashes, whether you're somebody who likes full lashes or whether you're somebody who likes very soft or whether you're somebody who just doesn't like lashes at all. At first, when I was starting putting on eyeshadow, I never liked lashes because they were so complicated. So I think this can finish your eye makeup look, but now I low-key love lashes. These are my eyes so far, so I'm gonna quickly finish off the rest of my face and then I'll come back to show you guys the final look. Okay guys, so here we have it with the final look of this video. I hope this video was easy and helpful, and I just love this type of eyeshadow look because one, it's super easy and quick to do. I've been doing this type of eye makeup look for the past couple weeks because it's just super quick, and especially if you were wanting to do a full glam makeup look or you want to do like a simple eyeshadow makeup look, you're only playing with 2 eyeshadow shades, and the whole goal is to really just build the pigment and go in with a small amount so that it gets you to practice, to blend. And I like the fact that you're not using like shimmer eyeshadow like metallics or even like a glitter and stuff, because sometimes if you're not used to using those types of eyeshadows, sometimes it can get very intimidating and you can easily mess up. So I like working with matte eyeshadows because they're super easy to use, and they're really easy to blend as well, and very hard for you to mess up matte eyeshadows. So I really hope this video was helpful. I hope it was easy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Also subscribe, because I would love to have you on the LJ family. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video.
KLJ, welcome to a channel where it's poppin'.